And people, they are curious about the hereafter. They want to know what is out there.
We have Eric Mintel on the episode tonight. Hit the subscribe button, like, follow, all that jazz that we harp on, because we need it to keep living. It's how me and Gilmar get paid.
Yeah, dude.
Non-monetarily payment. So you're listening for free. The least you could do is subscribe to the show. It's getting ridiculous.
Yeah, it's one button, dude. It's not that hard.
But Eric is a paranormal investigator, and the way I found you originally was somebody sent me a Facebook conversation that was quite large. It was on maybe a Doylestown page or something like that, and they were my friend. She shall remain nameless. Mm-hmm. We don't want to alienate anybody, but it was about UFOs.
Yeah.
And the conversation went something like, did you know there was a UFO situation above Doylestown? And I was like, well, is there a situation, or are there just UFO? Like, are there, are we in danger? And then a lot of questions came to mind. And then I saw that you had posted, you were like the originator of the content. So I was like, oh man, somebody had too many beers and saw a UFO.
And I don't drink.
So I went to you. So then I clicked on you, and then I realized you were like an actual paranormal investigator and
legend in his own mind.
Too. Yeah, I was like, oh well, this is too good to be true. And then I never acted on it because I was probably doing 8 million things at once. And then maybe 3 or 4 weeks later, somebody else brought you to my attention through the Doylestown Cardinal, which everybody seems to be a part of the Doylestown Cardinal now. If you don't write for the Cardinal, you're nobody in Doylestown, in my opinion. True, yeah. Right? Yeah. I went to the Doylestown Cardinal party, and you weren't there.
I know. I was invited, but then they said, well, it's just going to keep, for the main writers, and I hadn't been on, the writing team yet.
Well, see, I don't even write for the Cardinal, so I was
persona non grata.
I literally was like, my wife was like, oh, let's go. She's written a few things for them. And
so Jessica, if you're listening, invite me next time.
Yeah, so I showed up expecting some business to be handled via some paranormal business.
Lost the opportunity, missed opportunity.
And I showed up and we left. We were supposed to go to Tyler's house afterwards, and then he bailed. So we got in the car, and Ariel was like, "Oh, that was pretty good. We met some people." And I'm like, "Yeah, but the UFO guy wasn't there."
Damn.
I feel like this totally Friday was a waste of my time. Not completely, but that was my goal, and my goals were unmet.
Well, guess what?
You're here now.
I apologize.
Yeah, how dare you not show up to the most important newspaper party
I had
in town.
no clue.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that important, but I would have been there.
It was a pretty big deal. There was many folk there. But when I realized you had some sort of association with the Cardinal, I reached out to, I think it was Danielle Gannon.
Yeah.
To kind of try and link us together. And that is the story concluded.
Danielle is a great connector, man. She's been
she knows everybody, or knows the person that knows the person.
And talk about somebody that's not sleeping. She's working constantly.
Yeah, I mean, she's the mother of 3 kids. Yep. I think I'm busy, and then I look at people like that, and I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know that kind of busy. I don't think I fill my time.
There you go.
That's truly busy
with UFOs.
Well, yeah, I hope to follow. Tonight. I hope to fill this time with some. I want to get to the bottom of this UFO thing, and then maybe we don't get to the bottom of it, but at least we're aware and make other people aware of the UFO situation, or potential situation.
There is a situation. There is definitely a situation, but nothing threatening though. But I'll tell you the UFO. Well, back in 2008, I mean, we had a huge UFO flap here in Bucks County.
Really?
I don't know if you ever remember that. It was in the newspapers. I mean, thousands of people across Bucks County saw the same object, this cylindrical object, multiple lights, hovering very low, silent, and that's kind of like what we're getting reports of now.
Okay.
As early as August of this year.
So it's back, potentially.
Something's back, and people are seeing something.
And are the sightings consistent, or are people's anecdotes kind of just meshed together?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I mean,
The
that's
problem with social media is like once somebody says something, then it's like everybody sees the same something, but it's like, did you?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And
Which must make it difficult for you to investigate.
well, we have to. We're pretty good at discerning the truth from the BS. We could kind of look at situations and be like, okay, and then. But with this situation, with what people are seeing, they are consistent with what they're seeing and what they're reporting, what they're videotaping, taking pictures of, and what they're drawing. I mean, I'm getting drawings from people of what they're seeing, and then these video a nurse at Doylestown Hospital sent a video right out the hospital window of three like a triangular shaped lights right in the middle of the day, and that was back in May. And her husband sent it to me on Facebook, and I said, "Is it okay if I post this?" And it was amazing. So that Doylestown Facebook page that I posted that said, "Has anyone seen this object?" That like blew up big time.
Yeah, the number of shares and comments on that I remember was quite significant, and I felt like I was living under a rock. I'm like, we're supposed to know what's going on in Doylestown, Gilmar, and here we have a UFO sighting right in our own backyard.
Damn.
It almost seemed like a gift.
Yeah.
Well, friends of mine had said that they had kept seeing around 2 a.m, and this was around 2 a.m, that people are seeing this like object, and could it be a drone? I don't know. Who would be flying a drone at 2 a.m? But they would say every night between 2 and 3, they would see this. It would look like the North Star, but closer and brighter.
Maybe somebody's drunk droning.
Possibly.
Just cruising around,
You
couple
never know.
beers in them.
Droning under the influence.
That's probably illegal.
Yeah, DUI.
Probably.
Yeah.
Could be.
Revoke that
So
license.
That was one thing. So I was like looking at that and saying, that's pretty odd. And I wanted to go up there to try to, like I said, if next time you see it, let me know. We'll go out and check it out. We'll get some video on it or something.
Have you had that opportunity yet?
No, not
Okay.
yet. But Dominic and I will be going out because all these sightings are happening, and your listeners will know Lake Galena, Peace Valley Park. It's over the lake. So and this woman sent me video when the pandemic was happening. She was 2:00 in the morning, gets up, looks out her window, and she's seeing all these lights out there above the lake. And she thought maybe there were reflections from inside the house or something like that. Maybe there was something else. And this was April 6th of 2020, of 2021, sorry. And then she got dressed, went outside, and saw the lights and said, I am seeing this. And it wasn't like the Starlink satellites, they would be all in one row. These were all various positions.
The Starlink satellites are cool because still somehow I feel like not many people know about them. But basically, what's the company that launched them? Is Elon? SpaceX launched the satellites in there. What are there, like 13 or 12 satellites to start? But if you look up in the sky at like the right time and angle, you can watch the satellites move, and there's like a line of them, and it just looks like a centipede going across the. Yeah.
And then SpaceX rockets too. People are still seeing those. A friend of mine in Idaho sent me video of a rocket that was launched in Virginia that they saw in Idaho and they thought it was UFO, but it was actually SpaceX. So there's certain things, yes, you can look at these things and kind of explain what it is.
Yeah, so unidentified flying object doesn't necessarily mean aliens.
Exactly.
But that's what we technically always default to.
Well, I had my own sighting that I can't explain.
Okay.
Because in 2016, now I started Bucks County, well, it was originally Bucks County Paranormal Investigations in October of 2016. This sighting happened in February of 2016, and then we switched to Eric Mintel Investigates. But so my girlfriend and I are going over the Stockton, New Jersey bridge, where it's Center Bridge over to Stockton. And, you have the Center Bridge Inn restaurant there. This is like a Wednesday night, and we're going over the bridge, and it's February. And all of a sudden I look over, and there's 5 orange orbs just appeared out of nowhere. It was like they were like swirling lava. It was very, very weird. It wasn't flares or anything like that. And it definitely wasn't drones, but they appeared. And in my rational brain, I'm like trying to say, could this be Chinese lanterns that the restaurant has just lit off? Maybe there's a wedding there or something like that. I'm trying to like rationally explain it. And when that was not the case, I took out my phone. I'm trying to take a picture, and I got one picture of this thing, and it was of these things. And as they were doing like a little search pattern over the river, and then one by one, they just disappeared. But I was able to get one shot, and then still can't figure out what the heck it was. And was it UFOs? I mean, for all intents and purposes, yeah, it was an unidentified flying object, or UAP as they're calling them now. But I have no idea what it was. It was the weirdest thing, though. It was very, very strange. And
UAP is, what does that stand?
Unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Because it's unexplained, which makes sense. It kind of feels like the government's gearing up to...
I think they are. I think, well, they basically came out and said, hey, folks, you have been seeing these UFOs over the years for the last 70 years, 70-plus years. You've been seeing these things. Yes, they're real, but they're not a threat.
Yeah, well, like, why would you say something like that? They could be a threat.
They could be.
They aren't a threat as of now.
When you have these objects that are traveling 15,000 miles an hour, we don't have anything like that, as far as I know, anyway.
At our pay grade, we don't know that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
At our
true.
level of clearance, our security
That's true.
clearance,
That's true.
It's pretty high, but it's not. Maybe there's a level above us that we don't know about. It's interesting that the stories or situations that I've kind of like read into or watched about or nerded out on always seem to have like the common denominator of water involved in there. It's like always over the ocean, or it disappeared into the water, or like you were saying how it's like above Lake Galena.
Well, my theory is that they are coming from the ocean. I don't think they're coming interstellarly. I think they're already here.
Yeah.
I think we haven't even tapped half of the ocean.
No, not even close.
So I think people are seeing these things, and there's USOs, unidentified submerged objects. So you've got all these different, classifications.
Now we're getting into the weeds here because I've never even thought about
same.
unidentified submerged objects. Do you just Google that and see what pops up? I'm curious to see. But
so yeah, it's amazing. I mean, and people are saying, like you said, the Navy pilots, these things are going in the water. They have that footage of the one UFO that's literally just going into the water. It's a sphere, and it just goes into the water. So is there an underground water, or is it an alien base in the oceans? Who knows? That's the whole thing. We always have these questions. It's like whenever we're doing a case, whenever we're on an investigation, there's never any real answer at the end of the day. It's always like you.
Yeah, I mean, it could be above our comprehension level.
Our conscious, yeah, definitely.
Like there was a time in the United States when trains were invented, that people were like thought if you went I forget how fast it was, but if you went faster than like 40 miles an hour, you just would get liquefied. Yeah, right. Like you would die. Like, did you know that?
You just melt.
Yeah, like people thought they're like these trains are bad news.
Well, it's the belief system too.
Yeah, so we could just be, there already could be the energy or whatever, and everybody thinks it's like a humanoid type being, but it could be anything that we just don't understand yet.
I've interviewed a handful of people that, the alien abduction phenomena. I've interviewed a few people who are, and I know some of the people that are in some of those really famous cases, like Travis Walton, Betty and Barney Hill back in 1961, Calvin Parker, Pascagoula UFO encounter. All these people had these incredible experiences of, these abductions where, and it's funny because Calvin's account is different than, say, Betty and Barney Hill's account, because the aliens that came out of the ship looked more robotic than they did like what we normally would say the alien looks like with the big eyes and the big head. That was different. So and then with Travis, he had more of it was strange because he had more of the alien that we, associate with extraterrestrials, but also had normal looking people in his abduction experience that basically took him from the ship and back to Arizona, where he was abducted. And could they hit? The other thing was, could they be shapeshifters? Because he was really frightened from these things. Could they have, put something in his mind to make him calm down and say, now I'm used to more normal looking person. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, or they could have just they could have the, telekinetic power to just make you see what they want you to see. There's inevitably unlimited amount of possibilities.
Oh, totally.
What do you think's going on here?
What do I think? I think there is. I always lead with this. People are seeing something. They're seeing. Is it thought transference? You know what that is, where you see one thing and then all of a sudden someone else sees the same thing. It's that connection of, there's a phenomena out there. I think the people that are presented with these UFOs or ghosts, dogmen, Bigfoot, I think people are more attuned, or these phenomena are presenting themselves to certain people that are maybe more connected. Maybe their more antenna is more attuned to that.
So it's more of you're talking on like a quantum level.
Maybe.
So like everybody.
Well, like me, I go into a ghost hunt situation or a haunting situation. Now, I'm not going to feel. Well, that's why I wish Dominic was here tonight, because Dominic would tell you.
Yeah, thanks, Dominic.
Yeah, thanks, Dom.
See, Dom, I told you. You should have been here.
When we leave today,
should have been here.
We're going to walk out, and it's going to be dark out, and right then, we're going to see it.
Yeah.
UFO.
Yeah, we're going to see it.
And Dominic won't be here.
And Dominic won't be here to back us up.
But I will say, Dominic, when we were in Elkhorn, and I'll get to that story in a minute, he did see the UFO. He was the one that saw it, and that's why he should be here tonight.
Again, Dom, you
You let us down.
We'll throw dirt on your name.
Jeez.
I was trying to think of some old world's way to say it, but that's what I came up with.
Yeah, it's fine.
Sorry, Dom, I let you down.
The dirt one was pretty good.
That was good.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
That proof.
just like a baseball coach, just kicking. You probably can't see my legs. Just like kicking dirt on Dom.
It's all in fun, Dom, I think.
Oh, you know what? What's funny is what if I'm at the hoagie place getting a cheesesteak and somebody comes up and chokes me out. Could be Dom.
Could be Dom.
I don't even know what the guy looks like right now. So I'm starting trouble. And now I'm at
You
risk.
just had him up on the screen.
All right, what's he look? I got to keep my eyes out.
There he is.
Where?
Right
This
there.
guy?
Yeah, right there.
Oh yeah, he's a real. He looks like a Dominic.
Yeah, Dom.
He might be witness protection. He looks like he could have been an enforcer of sorts.
Yeah, he looks like
We
a
might
thick
have.
guy.
That guy's got a Cowboys jersey on.
Boo! Terrible.
Ridiculous.
That's awful.
I'm sorry you had to speak to
Yeah,
them.
sorry you had to talk to those.
Anyway, we have Eric here, not Dom.
Yeah.
And I guess what? So you were talking to us before the show, in the pre-show. You're a musician.
Yes.
And then you were, in 2016, you just decided one day to start investigating random
randomly
paranormal activities?
I just spoke up
or
one
was
day.
that something that you've already
Oh, yeah.
you were already attuned to?
Love the paranormal. Always loved the paranormal since I was a kid.
Okay.
My father would always tell me, experiences that he had. And just Bucks County in general is, with the history here.
There's some haunted stuff here.
Oh, yeah. And the paranormal history is incredible. So for years, that was in the back of my mind. I've always been a filmmaker, too. I always did, speaking of martial arts, we were doing karate videos and stuff back in the early 90s.
Oh,
and
wow.
Dominic and I actually were doing a video production on a self-defense video. And we were going to do a video series. This was all big stuff, back then. But then, of course, life gets in the way. And we kind of went our separate ways for maybe 27 years. And then he came back into the team. I've known him since high school. And he came back in 2017 and told me at that time, which I didn't know, that he was a spirit medium. I never knew it. When we were working out and stuff. I never knew that at all.
We're going to have you guys back on then.
Definitely.
When it's convenient for Dom. We'll let him say when he can come out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he'll let you know.
Yeah, he'll let me know. He'll send me a guy.
So he was, and he's been great. I always say that Dominic gives us a preview of what we're in store for.
Okay.
And whereas I personally don't feel that. when I go into a situation like that and into a ghost haunted house, I'm not feeling what Dominic's feeling. So
because he's already charged up.
he's in
Medium
tune.
type folk already have that, like, you know, I've learned a lot about this year, where it's like sometimes they're born with it, sometimes they've developed it, but it always seems like they grew up with it and then kind of learned how to,
Yeah.
you
And
know,
that's what his thing
tune
is.
their skills.
Yep, and that's what he grew up with it. He was born with it. I think that was the whole thing.
Okay,
And,
so young Dom is like the movie Sixth Sense.
exactly.
It was actually about him.
It was about Dom.
Yeah. Just following Bruce Willis around Old City, Philadelphia.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Dom was better than that kid in the movie. So
Oh, damn.
He's he's obviously better than Haley Joe Osment. That kid's a punk. Kid's walking around the whole movie. Spoiler alert, doesn't know he's with a ghost. So what kind of medium are you?
Dude, you suck.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't even help this guy until he
Can't tell the
figured it out,
difference.
right?
Yeah.
until the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So yeah. So it's it's been incredible. But like I said, I don't feel those things in there.
Okay.
When I go in. But what I'll do is if we're investigating a haunted bed and breakfast or a restaurant or anything like that, I'll go in and talk to the owner. They'll give me the lowdown on what has been going on there, any kind of history, any paranormal history, any activity that's been going on. And then what I'll do is not even tell Dom when we go out to the investigation until he gets there. And then he won't even know where we're going. I'll just say, like this, we just did this Hanoverville Roadhouse video.
Okay.
And some of the stuff there was incredible, but I didn't even tell him where it was. I just said we're heading north. Anyway, it was in Bethlehem, and we went in there, and he went right to the spots where all of this activity was going on.
So you're running like double tests here. You're interviewing the people who
Right.
say they're experiencing things. You're the role of the skeptic.
Right.
Then you bring your guy who, you trust him, but you want to see if you can catch him.
Yeah.
And then
exactly.
he comes and it goes exactly to the either spots that somebody
Or he's feeling those things that person just described.
that's got to be eerie.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, because it's kind of like, especially with this place that we just went to, he went right to the spot where the owner told me he found a hidden staircase and a hidden chamber under the private dining room. And here it turns out it was a 15-foot chamber that went down into, it almost looked like a tunnel, like an underground railroad tunnel.
I was literally just going to say it's probably Underground Railroad.
And there's a lot of that around here. Wedgwood Inn down in New Hope. The people that own the place, Carl and Nadine Glassman, great people. They bought it in 1982. We did a video for them, and he told me this. They bought it in 1982. In 1999, he went and did a renovation on the property, and he's wondering, why is my foundation crumbling in right here? So he goes down and looks, and here there's a 17-foot tunnel under the house. They've been walking over it for 17 years. Never knew it was there. And it's right from the Underground Railroad. And then it turns out that Washington and his troops camped out there 2 weeks before they crossed the Delaware and stored ammunition in the tunnel. So it was really cool. So those kind of stories, I like telling those stories and telling that to our public, because people are going to pass that and not even know the backstory.
Also, eventually, like, that history is going to be lost.
Yeah.
If somebody doesn't. It's kind of weird that we're so far removed from the Revolution or Civil War era.
Right.
It doesn't seem that long ago when you look at, like, human existence. It was only,
A couple of hundred years ago,
if
that.
Yeah, and we're already forgetting. That's what's kind of been tough for, like, these last few years. Is like everybody, like, when everything was so racially charged, it was like kind of like I'm a nerd in general, but I really like history. And it's just sometimes, like, when people are speaking on different things, I'm like, no, that's not exactly how it went. There were a lot of people that, the majority of the people were probably against slavery during, like, unless you were a rich plantation owner, like, slavery really didn't suit you.
Buckingham Mountain right here.
Yeah.
We have Big Ben Jones that was captured. He was living and working here with the Quakers.
Yeah.
Great, had a happy life. Then his owner found out he was working up here and came back and captured him. And the Quakers then, he was going to be taken to Philadelphia, but the Quakers loved Ben and they wanted to keep him here with the family. And they had no choice but to raise money to buy him in order to stay free.
That's a real Quaker thing to do.
Which is crazy. So, stories like that. And again, we're passing by all these great places that are right in our own backyard.
Yeah.
That people don't realize that all of this great history that they have right in their own backyard. So
Bucks County is a special place if you look up, I guess.
Definitely.
I took for granted living in Bucks County pretty much my whole life. Like we would go to like the George Washington crossing the Delaware reenactment around Christmas. Like we would do different things. And then maybe just like when you're a young man, you just don't appreciate that stuff until you're older.
Yeah.
And then you start getting into where you grew up was like where the country was born at.
Yeah,
You're like,
much.
That's pretty cool. We were here first.
Yeah.
This is where it all went down.
Yeah.
You live practically
I
right.
live in Trenton, so
there was
you're right around the
there was
corner.
a Hessian killed in your backyard. That's what I heard.
There probably was, dude. Like it's funny that you're saying that because I feel that I also don't really take advantage of where I grew up or where I live because there's so much history surrounding my area. Like I live in Mill Hill. It's a very historic society.
Where you live specifically is very historic.
Yeah, and the Delaware is right there.
It's cool how Trenton has like preserved your neighborhood. Like you live in like old city Philadelphia. You live in like the old city of Trenton.
Yeah, basically.
So like the houses are very cool.
Yeah, they're very particular.
Yeah.
They all have to look a certain way.
As a jazz musician, I played at Joe's Mill Hill Saloon.
Oh, I live right around the corner from there. It's crazy.
And that was back in the 90s, man. And it was like when you could smoke in the restaurants. I never smoked a day in my life, man. But I would be like covered with smoke the next day. And I'd go to open up my keyboard case and a big plume of smoke would come out of there.
Damn.
So I would dread when we play there, I'd be like, it was a great crowd and all, but man, I was like, oh God. Again.
I grew up working in an Italian restaurant in Newtown. And I remember when we were young guys, me and my brother would like hang out or like work or hang out at like the bar there. And the smoking section was like one step up from the dining room. Like there wasn't even a wall. And then like the air blew across
Right
from the
into
bar into the main restaurant.
Oh.
So people would be like complaining and it'd be like, what? They're in the smoking section. It was the dumbest thing ever. We'd be like, yeah,
That's
they're in the
awful.
smoking section. You can't say anything about it.
Smoking
man.
section.
That's
Like,
awful.
they're in the section. They're at the
man.
4 tables and the bar where we allow smoking. It just happens to be connected to the whole rest of the restaurant.
Right.
There's no,
Like smoke doesn't travel.
yeah, there's no like glass wall or anything. They did a more aggressive job trying to partition coronavirus away from other people than they did the smoking sections.
Nothing like
You know what I mean?
smelling menthols while you're eating your pasta.
It's like, oh, do you smoking or non-smoking? Be like, oh, non-smoking, and they would put you right next to the smoking section. And be like, but that was just normal back then.
That's crazy,
Back
dude.
then, man. Yeah. Thank God there's no more smoking.
You and Dominic seem like Bucks County's Hardy Boys, like grown up.
I would say that.
You guys
I would
should.
say that.
If you guys wouldn't get sued or like a cease or desist.
Well, we have a thing called the Bucks County. We're the Bucks County Paranormal Boys because an artist friend of mine, I had wanted to do something like the Hardy Boys, like the way they on the covers of those books. I wanted to do some kind of an artwork of us looking and have a whole amalgamation of all the paranormal stuff that we've encountered. And he made up a cool T-shirt of Eric Mintel Investigates. You asked me, and I didn't answer your question. How did I start this? In October of 2016, like I said, I always loved the paranormal, but I was always watching the paranormal shows on TV. And finally, one day I said, I could do that. I could definitely do that. And I just started. I've always been a self-starter. I'm professional jazz musician. I've had my own sales company. I did, those restaurant placemats with the advertisements on them. I used to have a company that did that. So I've always been a self-starter that way. And I said, I could definitely do this. So when we first started doing the videos, they were a little more tongue-in-cheek. They were funny. They were a little bit more poking fun at the paranormal. But then as we kept going on, we started getting calls on, can you check out our our restaurant or our bed and breakfast, and then we got more serious. So
I think it would be so cool to go along with them, because you watch all those paranormal shows and it's just kind of like,
yeah, it's pretty,
you know, this
it's
is
pretty
Discovery
hokey.
Channel. This we don't know, but like knowing you and then knowing Don has his, you know, his secret powers. That's not so secret anymore.
Exactly.
It kind of like what I've experienced with mediums or psychic mediums like this past year. I would be really open to like experiencing that, because I think it would be like finding Bigfoot.
Oh yeah, me
I
too.
wish you would have guys who would have been with us on this video we did. We did it. It's called Hallowed Grounds of the Homestead,
Okay.
and it's on our YouTube channel. But we started this video out very lighthearted. Good friends of ours, Beth and Jacob, they have a architectural salvage company that it's called New Spirit Old Soul. It's in Boyertown.
Okay.
And right on the same property is a 1759 farmhouse. Now, Beth is and it's all original woodwork. It's beautiful. Everything's all original. Nothing's been updated, nothing. And Beth always feels this energy in there. She always feels this like really strong emotional energy. So we start doing the video, and we go upstairs to the bedroom where she's been feeling this weird energy all the time. Dominic senses something is definitely going on there. And I'm over there. I have a magnetometer that we usually use to detect for any electromagnetic energy. Now, we don't use any of the spirit boxes. We don't use the REM pods, because to me, those things could give you a false reading. You know, camera equipment will set those off, you know, whereas the magnetometer, we've got nothing on, and that can, you know, wiring could still set that off as well. But we're in an area that's got no real wires at all in this farmhouse. It's got even no Wi-Fi and no cable. I don't even think. I think it's all completely stripped. But anyway, we're over there in this bedroom, and the magnetometer is going off in this one area. And I had said there was a vase there on the dresser, and Beth is also a designer. So I had said, guys, I think I just saw this move, and which I did. I thought I saw the leaves on this thing move, and I was making sure that nobody was like walking next to it to make a vibration or anything like that. But it just, the way it looked out of the corner of my eye, it looked like it was moving. With that, Beth looks at that and goes, I did not put that there. That was not there. I know exactly where I put that. And she's getting more and more animated. And then she goes and hyperventilates and has a complete meltdown on camera. And it was because this spirit, I say she got bum rushed by the ghost, because she was getting this emotional charge from this ghost that wasn't talking with Dom. It didn't want to talk to Dom. And this is what we found out later. We didn't find out that at that time. This was all afterward. That it didn't want to talk to Dominic. It didn't want to go through him. It wanted to go through Beth, but Beth wasn't ready. And then Beth's friend Renee, she came in the room and had the same exact reaction to Beth, but she didn't see that Beth had this reaction. She was in another part of the house. She came upstairs and felt the same thing and like doubled over again. So at first, Dominic and I are like, wow, what did we stumble into here? And then it turns out that it was going through Renee. And then Renee she's more attuned to what Dominic is. She could feel those things, and she was more, you know,
Inviting, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then she kind of like told the story, and then they found out this woman's name. They didn't even know any names or anything like that of these people. And they came up with this name, Elizabeth. And then a historian came up a couple of weeks later and said that a woman by the name of Elizabeth used to live in this house. So those kind of things are kind of cool. You know, you can't fake that kind of stuff.
No.
I mean, you could, but we don't.
Yeah, it's just like we on the outside can be skeptical of it, but you experiencing it.
Look, I'm skeptical too.
Yeah.
Like I said, I go into those skeptically because I really want to find out what's going on here. I'm not going to say that every place we go into is haunted, but I want to see is it pipes in the basement that are making those sounds? Is it something that fell on the roof? Is that what are those voices? Is the TV on downstairs? You know, something like that. So I just want to kind of look at the most mundane, explanation. And then if you can't explain that, then something's going on. But the more I've been doing this in the ghost realm, the more I'm a believer in that there's a very thin veil from what we could see to what we can't see. There's from the here and there, because some of the stuff we've caught on videos is pretty amazing.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So you don't use spirit boxes and REM pods. I watched this because recently, Halloween just passed.
Mhm.
So my girlfriend and I.
Tell me about it. I know.
Yeah.
I was
It's a
out
busy
every
month.
day.
Yeah.
Every day. I swear to God, every day.
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah. It was
Yes.
awesome.
So we've been watching a lot of paranormal things, and my brother recommended me this channel called Sam and Colby. I don't know if you heard of them, but it's these two kids. They're adults, but they look like kids. It's kind of weird, but anyway, they go around
Much
and
like
they,
us, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they go around and they investigate different places, and they use all those things like EMF, spirit boxes, and what was the other thing? The REM pods.
Yep.
And they get a lot of good things, but like you said, they can anything can set those things off.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's a little.
And when you, the viewer, are watching it through, less than 180 degree lens, like it's like you're automatically like, nah, unless you yourself have had that experience.
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
We had a screening on Sunday. Was our last screening at the Newtown Movie Theater of our videos that we did, and we did, I think 4 videos. We did the Hallowed we did Pine Barrens Bigfoot. We did the Beast of Bray Road, and I'll tell you, man, the Dogman sightings that have been going on in this country. I was not too aware of what was going on with that, but apparently a lot of people are seeing this upright canine.
Yeah. So I don't even know if I should get into this, but my brother and like we have night vision stuff, and we've been aware of the Dogman thing, and it's definitely something we joke about. But the amount of people that like, what's the other one? The Cooper Lob.
The Chupacabra.
Chupacabra. Yeah. That's another one. My brother's obsessed with Sasquatch. Like he'll joke about it. But it's always just jokes. But when you watch people on like YouTube or things, like their conviction, like you're like, this person isn't an actor. So they're like the conviction that they're speaking with. It's like, like either they just figured this out yesterday, or they truly believe this, or this actor's undiscovered. Like you
yeah, exactly.
We know a decent amount about creating content, so when you're watching small budget content get made, and like how the sausage is made, sometimes you watch that stuff and you're like, oh shit, like
I don't want to know.
I don't know if I want to continue watching this, like, because these people, like, they don't have the budget for these special effects, like,
exactly. Yeah.
Which brings me to like you created these like 4 episodes or whatever. How do you monetize that? Like, how do you make a living from that?
We've got about 80 videos out there. It's just not just the Beast of Bray Road, but yeah, I get sponsors. Well, the main thing is the TV show is up in the Lehigh Valley on Sunday nights at 10 o'clock on cable.
Okay.
We're in about 80,000 homes there. And then on Saturday night, we're through Princeton Television, and which is now Central New Jersey Network. And we're Saturday nights at 11 o'clock. But they also go through Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV.
So it's all ad dollars.
All the streaming. Well, not really. For me, it's like I'll get sponsors, like I'll get people that will run a 30-second commercial.
Okay.
And that's where some of our sponsorship comes in from. I get nothing from the TV stations. It's all sponsor driven.
Yeah, so how do you go about getting your program on a news station or a channel, like a cable?
On Travel Channel and that kind of thing? Yeah, but that's what we're doing now. We're in talks with the Travel Channel and Discovery, and so we've been working on that for like the last 6 months.
And do they reach out to you, or do you kind of find like their talent?
I met, it was just wild. A good friend of mine, Mark McNutt, who is doing the Doan Brothers documentary. I don't know if you've heard of that yet, but he was meeting with a producer, Steph Burns, who's in Doylestown here, and then she and I talked, and she was totally intrigued with what we're doing.
Okay.
And she works with the Travel Channel and Nat Geo, and so it's,
and your YouTube seems successful.
Yeah, it's getting there.
It's a lot of work, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It is. It's a hustle every day, but we've got I do a lot of interviews with people, interviewing a lot of different people in the UFO world, Bigfoot.
Have you ever thought about, do you upload covers onto your content, or are these just like, I think you, just from like looking at it, you would have a lot of success if you had like just program covers, like kind of like the cover to like a video.
Oh, okay.
Can you pull up like ours or somebody's that has good, like Andrew Schultz, who has good covers? Ours are good because Gilmar makes them. But we steal our information from people like this. So it's just like,
oh, you like that kind of stuff. Okay.
So like,
oh, okay.
So like you see how like you don't have to do it like he's doing it.
Right.
But like having it so it's like you have like a separate thumbnail and then having the captions like reach out and grab your eye.
Okay.
That's like what YouTube, like the algorithm in YouTube is utilizing.
Thank you for letting
to, like,
me know that, because I was always trying to figure out what is that secret there? What's
there's a lot of secrets to YouTube.
Tons.
We're low level YouTube operators with we've done a lot of research on how to grow it. It hasn't like hit its potential yet, but we've had a couple construction videos like blow off pretty hard where people are like literally talking shit on my hat in the video, which is like completely irrelevant to the video. Or like the comment section, like when you see tons of comments coming through, it's wild to be exposed like that, but like that's what the goal is. So it's like you're looking for the viewership, and there's a lot of like techniques to like how you title, like the title of your videos, the cover, and different things like that like help promote. Because like
I've just learned something new. I just learned something new right now. That's awesome.
Yeah, what do we have? 16,000. Where's like, do we have any like big ones on here?
Yeah.
8,000.
That.
There was one with like 100,000 views.
That's like
297,000.
That's great. That's awesome.
This one has 174. So just titling and thumbnails definitely help a lot.
But we would love to talk to you about YouTube
all
for
day. Sure,
if you need help, me and Gilmar are your guys.
That sounds great. Yeah, we have a great audience. People love what we're doing. And thankfully,
your videos are great. I watched some of your YouTube videos, and that was like, I'm glad we brought the YouTube channel up, because that was one thing I was thinking when I was watching your videos. I was like, it's usually the opposite. People have great thumbnails and titles, and their content is trash. And that's the worst, because like you may only get one or two opportunities to like grab somebody for your audience. Exactly. So like if your content's really good, I would say you have 99% of it worked out.
Oh yeah.
It's like those last little like presentation things that those platforms require, but they don't, like, they're not going to tell you that.
Right.
Unless you like, so I mean, we've spent we and Gilmar share videos with each other all the time, like different tips, different, blogs or things. Awesome. Like, this is what you got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy. I mean, the social media market is insane. I mean, when you think you've got it figured out, there's another idea, that comes up, and
it's always changing.
It really makes you think, But it's unique because it keeps us thinking, and it keeps us into that realm of like getting the word out there. And then it's like, constantly, well, even with my jazz group, I'll put everything out on Facebook of like where we're playing. And then a day later, I didn't even know you guys were playing there. It's only been on my website and on Facebook and everything, so how are they not seeing that?
And it's discouraging now. Like if you did Instagram in 2016 and you were good at taking pictures, you'd have 1 million followers right now. Yeah. But if you waited until 2019, 2020, like now things are even harder to grab that attention. And like the fact that we realize that, and obviously you realize that, like that's why we take those things so seriously.
Yeah.
And Gilmar's really good at titling stuff. Sometimes my titles aren't, like, usually when I have a good title, it was just very easy. But Gilmar will pull out titles sometimes that people, like, I don't even know why people search some of this stuff. Like the Harry Pablo episode was like, that one did really well because you used a
like AI generated image.
Yeah, he used an AI generated image for the cover of the episode.
Cool. Yeah, so we made, what Harry Potter looks like, right? Sure. So I went on this DALL-E thing, and basically, I think I deleted the photo. Basically, it gave us a Mexican version of Harry Potter, which is pretty funny.
Because like, the whole premise of the thing was that Gilmar was going to be a wizard for Halloween. And I was like, yeah, dude, just be Harry Pablo for Halloween. And we were laughing. It was just me and him just being idiots. And then when I saw him upload the episode, I saw the cover and I was like, who is this picture of? And he's like, that's an AI generated image. And then
Yeah, right there.
yeah.
Mexican Harry
Now,
Potter.
what are you using in that as far as when you're putting that together? Is it like a different program or is that
Photoshop.
Yeah, use Photoshop.
Oh, okay, Photoshop. Okay.
Yeah. We use all like the Adobe
Okay.
suite.
Cool.
Yeah. So I think your content's like it's very entertaining.
Thank you.
Um
I try it. I try to be mindful of, we're in an age where it's attention span,
yeah.
and
It's
I
funny
wanna-
you say that.
I want to keep it interesting and moving. I want to keep it moving. And it's like, for me, I love editing because to me, it's like writing a piece of music,
And you're doing your own editing.
doing all the own
What software are you using?
Final Cut.
Final Cut.
I
That's
love it.
That's Apple.
Apple, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's a great program, and there's a lot. I mean, it's just I have learned so much, and the way I have the vision of wanting it to look, I'm looking at some of the programs that I enjoy, and I try to emulate some of those, but also put like anything, like we all try to put our own. We don't want to copy that, but we want to put our own stamp on that.
Mhm.
So I'm finding as I've gone along here, there is a certain niche now that we've got, or a certain look that we're establishing.
Yeah.
And I think that's, and thankfully my jazz audience has followed us into the paranormal world too, which a lot of my jazz audience was at the screening the other night, which was really cool.
That's very, I don't know what the saying is. I guess it's like people don't buy coaching programs, they buy coaches.
Exactly.
Is the most recent thing that I've heard like that. It's like people they don't care what you're doing. They're following you. And that's even cooler than what you're doing, because that's kind of like when celebrities decide like all of a sudden they're going to start a podcast. It's always funny when you like listen to the podcast and the audio quality and all the things are just complete trash.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's like, but I know they're doing better than us because they already had that following, which I know there's no fault to them, but they've already built up that audience. So it must speak to your keys.
Well, it's not only that. Like I had a really good mentor, and I think that's a lot of things missing in today's generation is having a hero, having a mentor to look up to. And my guy was Dave Brubeck. Dave Brubeck.
I love Dave Brubeck.
He was my
great.
friend. He wrote liner notes for our CDs, and he was like, I looked at him like almost like a father figure, And it was amazing because we opened up for him at the Kimmel Center in Philadelphia,
Oh, wow.
and I couldn't believe it. I was like, here's a guy that I've been listening to my whole life, and here I'm like opening up for him, and there he is in the front row listening to us. That was the most incredible feeling to have, and that all of that what I was fighting for, and building came true, and like there it was right there. And then of course human nature, you want to go to the next level, you want to try next level. But so Dave was a really great friend of mine. But you're talking about why people follow you. They love Dave. They liked his music, but they loved the man. And that was the whole thing with Dave Brubeck. If you go back and look at some of his background, he was, a incredible guy for the civil rights movement, real straight ahead family man, just one of these guys that was like, a real gentleman that way. And and I guess I try to emulate myself like that, as a human being, as a person, musician and whatnot. So that's kind of like what I've done over the years, is just try to always do good work but make it my own, not be a copycat, but make it my own.
That's what you see a lot of businesses nowadays with social media accounts. And I think I realized like a long time ago, like people aren't buying even no matter how big your business is, like they're buying you when they hire you. Like for us, like we were in construction, so like they're hiring one of us, even though we have a team. They're hiring someone from our team is the reason why we're there.
Exactly.
Ultimately, because something we said or something they saw, like their conviction is
you.
there. Yeah,
they like you, and that's the thing. And sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time it's who you know, because if you have a good connection with that person, you want to do more business with that person.
Yeah.
That's kind of like where we're at. So And also we monetize it by going into those restaurants, going into the bed and breakfast and saying, look, the added benefit of being on the TV show, they realize it's a marketing video. So it's going to be their marketing budget. They have money for this, and they know that we're putting out a great product, and that's why I'm able to do what I do as well.
Let's see. He just gave us the secret.
Well, yeah, because I mean, I know of people that would pay more money to go somewhere that might be haunted, you know. So that's good on your part for then giving people a place to go to.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So
Would you stay in a haunted room?
I thought about this. I don't know, man. I might have to be with someone that I'm really comfortable with. I couldn't do it alone.
We've done
Say me and you go to like the Logan Inn and we stay in like their haunted room.
I'd love to. Yeah. Oh yeah.
We'll sleep in the same bed just for safety.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
It's expensive, but it's worth it.
That's Mary's room.
No, we'll get him to comp it because we'll do a podcast.
We'll get him to comp it. Yeah, they'll agree.
We'll leverage the podcast to get us, stay there.
Yeah, for sure. We should bring him. We could probably get more leverage on.
I
mean, we'll see how big the bed
but
is.
You'd have to pay me though.
God damn it! It's a free stay at the Logan Inn. What do you mean?
And it was funny because we were just talking about the Blackmagic Cinema 4K camera that we just. I reached out to that company and I said, I would love to sponsor your company. I'd love to be a sponsor, or have us be a part of your organization. And they sent me a camera to use. So we used it on the hallowed grounds at the Homestead and that Hanoverville video, and it was a great camera. And so we just got a write-up in No Film School, a magazine, and just incredible review. So it's really, I mean, just from the grassroots effort of what I'm doing to be able to be in that, thought of in that way, it's a good feeling that we're putting out good content. I'm glad that you're enjoying it, and we just want to get better all the time.
That's awesome. What is there, like, you've been doing this for a while now. You said you had 80 videos, I think you said. Is it getting harder to find content to create, or is there just like people are just still surprising you with because I'm in the same boat. Like, we started a podcast, we knew what we kind of wanted to do, but where we ended up, I feel very fortunate that we still at this point, I thought we would have run out of people to talk to. Do you ever feel that way?
Yeah.
It's always like, oh, things are slowing down. And next thing you know, we have a backlog of 6 podcasts to put out. And it's just kind of like, you look at it, you're like, wow, it's still growing legs. Is that how you feel?
Oh, yeah. It's funny, too, because with my jazz audience, I'll say to my jazz audience that, I'll say, ladies and gentlemen, I just wrote a tune, and it goes something like this, and they'll half-heartedly listen to what I just said about the tune. They'll listen to the music, but they'll half-heartedly listen to what I said. But the minute I say, and I also have a paranormal TV show, you could hear a pin drop.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, it's really amazing. And people, they are curious about the hereafter. They want to know what is out there. So to me, there's never an ending. It's infinite as far as I don't care who it is, CEO of a company, rich, poor, whatever. Everybody's had some kind of paranormal experience in their life that they can't explain.
I don't know. I feel left out. I don't know if I have one.
You've never had one?
You just had one today.
Did I?
In the car.
With the guy in the car.
Oh, yeah. Did I say that on the podcast?
No, you didn't.
We're not going to say it
we're
now.
going to say it. We might as well say it now. The cat's out of the bag. I saw a guy in a maroon Chevy pickup truck.
License plate.
Yeah.
There's Gilmore.
Anyway.
Yeah, dude. He instead of picking his nose, he picked his eye and ate his eye boogies. One with one finger.
That's scarier than
the other
any
finger.
paranormal.
And I'm literally my truck has the windows are.
You threw up in your mouth a little bit too, a little bit.
No, my windows were up because I was on the phone, and my windows are significantly darker than other people's windows, and I looked over and I was leaning against the side so I could see him in my. I could see his entire front of his truck in my side view mirror. And I looked over and I saw him do it, and then I saw him looking at me, and I forgot for a minute my windows are tinted, and I literally just leaned over to the center of the car because I'm still talking to a friend of mine, and I just leaned over to the center of the console, just like, oh man, I hope he didn't see me watching him eat his eye bookies. And then I'm like, what am I doing? He can't even see me.
Yeah.
So I leaned back over to check to see if he was picking anything else up.
His ears.
Yeah, the corner of Durham Road and 202 about around
an hour ago.
No, it was like 3:45 on February 3rd or November 3rd.
That is something that you can never unsee.
Yeah.
Now.
I didn't even know that was like a possibility. I didn't even know that was like a
thing to yearn for.
Yeah, I didn't, like he did it like the way he ingested the eye substance. Yeah, we'll call it boogie. We don't really know.
We don't know what it is.
The Sandman. It was like no factor. It was like, oh, okay, it's 3:00. Let me check my eyes. I was like, what the hell?
Oh my God.
Man.
So that was very paranormal. So you had your own paranormal experience today.
Yeah, that was out of this world for sure.
You've never had that you can remember? Or?
I don't think so.
I think next time we come in, we're going to get Dom in here, and he's going to bring it out of you. You probably have.
I just fall onto the ground and just
Start
convulsing.
shaking. Oh, damn.
In the presence of Dom. The legend.
Aside from your investigations, have you had any paranormal?
Have I?
Yeah, aside from the investigations.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, with the UFO experience, not only that one, there's been a couple of. So UFOs are more prevalent to me than, say, ghost situation or anything like that. But Bigfoot in the New Jersey Pine Barrens. Okay, we're talking about finding Bigfoot. So we go down and do this investigation the week after we came back from Elkhorn, Wisconsin, which, encountering this Beast of Bray Road was really wild. I mean, we did this investigation October 3rd, the night of October 3rd last year. We encountered this creature, and the howl that this thing made was not a wolf, it wasn't a coyote, not a fox, nothing like that, not an owl. This made like a low guttural, like scream, growl, yell that was so close. I mean, we had little lavalier microphones on. It was that loud that the mic picked it up, and you could see it on the video. It's called the Beast of Bray Road, Alive and Well, and just a lot of other weird stuff too that happened there. But the week after we got home from Elkhorn, we go to the Pine Barrens. A friend of mine, Eric Spinner, who is a Bigfoot researcher, and his friend Art Mack, Bigfoot researchers. We go down to an area called the Bowl, and it's just like it sounds. It's higher on the sides, lower in the middle, and there has been a lot of juvenile Bigfoot activity. So again, I go into that situation a little bit more skeptically because I'm like, okay, I've seen these shows where they're whooping and hollering, they're hitting trees, and what is really going on? So we get down there, and my world changed because we're down doing the interview, and we've got a camera on Art and Dominic. And again, this is kind of out of Dominic's wheelhouse. The Beast of Bray Road, totally out of his wheelhouse. Bigfoot, totally out of his wheelhouse.
Yeah, because he's dealing with like spirits and things like that.
So we're down there, and all of a sudden, Art and Dom are talking about his research, about Art's research, how they go about it, what's the protocol. And with that, in the background, we hear whoop, just like that. And I'm like, wait, did you guys hear that? And then we stopped it. We stopped their interview. And
was this dark out, or is this?
Oh, it was pitch black.
Okay.
We were 5 miles into the Pine Barrens. Not a soul around. We're on the fire roads that go into the Pine Barrens. So we went in 5 miles by truck, and then we parked and went about 600 feet in and set up base camp. So that's where we were, kind of 600 feet into the woods. But we hear this whoop, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like I always joked about those guys whooping and hollering on the shows, but I'll be damned if that's not what we just heard. Mm. So then his wife, Eric's wife, is there. She starts answering it back, and she's getting it vocalizing back and forth with her. And you could see it in the video, and you could hear it. And it was the creepiest thing, man.
What if there was like another YouTube channel that was also investigating Bigfoot that night, and you guys were just whooping back and forth?
Hey, I thought about that. I thought that. That was not out of the realm of possibility.
That would have been.
But we were, oh my God, we were like completely in the dark. I mean, it was insanely desolate. We were like really in the middle of nowhere.
Did you monetize your YouTube channel yet? Like, did you?
Not yet.
No.
I'm trying to.
Yeah, what are you like low on view hours watched or
I don't
something?
know. To be honest with you, I have to figure that whole thing out.
Okay. I think
I
we
do.
need to help this man out.
I need help. I'm good with all that other stuff, but as far as that goes, I need help.
Yeah.
I need help. I don't see the subscribe button hit yet.
Well, this is an incognito browser, so I can't subscribe.
Why is the subscribe?
But guys,
He's not even
subscribe.
logged in.
Yeah, I'm not logged in to anything. That's
Okay,
why, but-
gotcha.
We're premium YouTube people, so
Yeah. Yeah, I pay for premium. It's just
Oh,
worth
man.
it. So worth
it is worth it.
So worth it.
What, like, the UFO is how I found you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how much time do you spend on UFOs versus how much time you're spending on paranormal stuff versus how much time you're spending on,
It's a mix, but I would say the UFO stuff is not as much as all of the other stuff.
Okay.
We just wrapped up 4 videos. We did Hallowed Grounds of the Homestead, that was ghosts, Hanoverville Haunting, ghosts, and then we did The Beast of Bryn Athyn, which is another dogman sighting down in Bryn Athyn area,
Yeah.
which people have been coming up and seeing it for years, but people are coming on camera to tell about their stories, which is really cool. And we just did that video. We're going to do another follow-up video to that, and that's a cryptid. And then we did another one, which was the Beast of Bray Road follow-up. So we did a follow-up video with the Beast of Bray Road from last year. We did a follow-up in April of this year and went back to Elkhorn. We didn't encounter it this time. We didn't see it, didn't hear it. But what we did come away with was a town hall meeting that we did on April 28th that over 140 people showed up
Oh, what?
to tell their story about seeing this thing. So that was really cool.
And what is
That's
like
on
the
the video.
description of?
It was eerily, this was the weirdest thing. Everybody said it had the same like gait, the same walk. Like it should be going slow. Like it looks like it's gliding, but it's very, very fast. And where a human would be, bouncing up and down, this was just gliding along, and the way it was walking. So that was the description out in Elkhorn, and then the Beast of Bryn Athyn was the same description.
Mm-mm.
So that was weird, and it was just a very strange. Even in Elkhorn, there was some really weird stuff that happened. Like our drone guy, obviously, he wears virtual reality glasses. So we were in this part of the field, and we disappeared on his screen. He's got the drone up there, and in this particular part of the field, we disappeared. And this area is called the bait area, where Lee, the farmer, has been getting all this wild activity. And he's been putting roadkill deer in this particular area. And some very strange things happen. So we disappeared in this area. So we're thinking, could that be like some kind of a portal type area? Here's the thing. Would we even be talking about this 10 years ago, right? It's just become so commonplace now because people are having these experiences. And I said to Lee, could this be a portal? He said, oh, absolutely. I've got pictures of portals. So he showed us some really strange pictures, man. I mean, there's like pictures of a video of these weird lights going through the woods across his field. And I went over to the woods the last time we were there because I'm thinking to myself, could they be like maybe ATVs or something like that going through the woods? And, they were smoothly going through the woods. But we get over to the woods, there's no way that you could even have a vehicle anywhere near there because you'd have to stop.
Too dense.
Too dense. So, and if you see these lights on the video, they're just like going smoothly through the woods. And he's getting orbs, and it was just so many weird things. And he's got a picture of this weird mist that comes over the deer in this trail cam picture. And those trail cam pictures I think they're about 30 seconds timed apart. So the next picture, the deer is gone, and so's the mist. It's very, very weird. And Lee's got a picture of himself he's putting a deer down there, but a mist comes behind him, and it completely covers his body. So it's this weird cloaking thing's going on. So I don't know. I mean, I know. It's as a skeptic, you could listen to this and
I'm not
say,
a skeptic. I feel like I need to go down there and just like
or it's just
see what's up.
Oh, it's amazing.
Gilmar, suit up.
Suit up.
we're get your paranormal investigator outfit on.
We went down
Dude,
there.
all black.
We had
Yeah.
people came down from Canada when we were out there. They took a trip to Bray Road. And Lee's farm is really only 0.2 of a mile from Bray Road. That's why they call it Beast of Bray Road, because it's been seen crossing the road. It's been seen on the road, eating roadkill with its hands. And so we took the drone up, which didn't make it into the video. I don't know why I didn't do this, but there was huge cutouts going from Lee's property across the road and then going into the quarry, which we think that's where it's living. It's in the quarry. It's got a food source, shelter, water source. So,
yeah, Jesus.
Do you still have that drone footage?
we got it all. Oh, I got it. Yeah, we got the drone footage.
You should release that just as a
Patreon.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I'm so immersed in doing all the production part of it. The other stuff on the side, I need to get to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably why I'll be doing this month, since we're kind of like, and then December I'll be kicking it up with my jazz quartet, because we'll be doing all of our Charlie Brown Christmas concerts.
Yeah.
So we go from this crazy paranormal stuff to Charlie Brown Christmas.
You're versatile.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really cool. You do it all, man.
Got to do it, man.
So-
Anything to pay the bills, right?
There you go.
So I guess one of my last questions is the dog man. Is that like the same thing as like a werewolf or something like that? Pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
I would say it's very close to the werewolf idea. Dogman, werewolf, shapeshifter.
And now, when you talk to people like Dom or other medium type folk, like what are his rationales for things like that?
It totally freaked him out.
Yeah.
He was totally freaked out. And he is one to not get neither am I. I am not one to get freaked out about this stuff. And even the night of the investigation, I'm not one to say, okay, let's shut it down. Because we kept hearing this rustling sound as it was coming toward us, and it was getting closer. And there was just not one. There was like a family of these things. So we kept hearing all this rustling. And I said, you know what? I don't know what it's going to do. We had no protection whatsoever.
Yeah, no Glock.
We had nothing.
Okay.
No, nothing. So
I think you would come to one of these things with like bare minimum a samurai sword.
you would think.
Yeah.
But again, I'm going out there, honest to God, thinking that we're not going to see anything.
Okay.
I'm going out with the skeptic thing again. Like we're not going to see anything. We're going to at least go out and hear a great story. We're going to get a great documentary. We're going to talk to cool people. Not ever thinking once that we'd actually encountered this thing. And it was just really a crazy night.
What if you found the dog man and it was just like a golden retriever? Like,
Hey, what's up, guys?
Just
like
like Rambo.
a man golden retriever, just like,
Then
hey,
we'd
what's
be-
up? You want to
then
be
we-
friends?
Then we'd be okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
there's
and-
probably a mean golden retriever out there somewhere.
But what people were saying, why didn't you guys stay out there longer? I'm like, well, I don't know what it's going to do. They were saying, has it ever attacked anybody? I'm like, well, I'm not going to stay around and wait and find out.
I mean, maybe it has, and just, people go missing all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we got out of there, and it was just one of the most craziest nights, man.
Now, so like, if say you were investigating the UFOs and you discovered, an alien, would that be an illegal alien because it's on our like? How do we? Is there like an assumed like set of laws for the paranormal, or like how do we handle this?
I don't know. You'll have to ask the government.
Yeah, do we detain him? Can you
Well-
use citizen's arrest on an alien?
Yeah, can you hug it?
Well,
Like, what are you and are you not allowed to do with alien life forms? Like, we haven't been made clear on this yet.
you know what? I don't know. I really wouldn't.
You're in
know that.
uncharted territory.
I am in that until I see something flesh and blood. But let's go back to Roswell. Let's go back to the 1947 Roswell crash in New Mexico, where there was a live alien that was caught, and that was taken to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, and they kept him alive for maybe about 5 years, and then doing tests and stuff. That was the folklore, and then he died in captivity. But that's like that. If you want to look at that and say, okay, that happened, go back and do the research on that, and you could see a lot of high-end officials that were there.
Yeah, why would they be there for a hoax?
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Those people don't, they're busy guys.
Yeah. Why would they want to do that? And that was back then, you've got the Cold War, and look at all this. Look at how, if that was coming out, even now, I mean, people don't want to come out and say that they're here.
So like since like the ocean or at least waters like seems to play such like a large role in all of that, have you thought about doing some submarine type stuff or anything like that?
I have. We just have to get some scuba gear and just
the budget
just
for a
go.
submarine.
Yeah.
You know anybody with a submarine? Because I don't.
Off the top of my head, no. Gotta go through my contacts.
We
and
could get.
stuff.
What if like what kind of GoFundMe dollars do you think we could get? Like
For a submarine?
money needed for submarine
To
exploration.
rent a submarine.
Yeah. there you
Yeah, I
go.
mean, what if we try and get
Maybe
a
there's one on-
GoFundMe
maybe
to
there's one
rent
on Uber
or Turo?
or Turo. Oh, yeah.
Can we rent a submarine? There you go.
Here's how you can charter your own submarine.
There you go.
All right.
Well, we know it's available.
Charterorsub.com.
Charterorsub.com. This is going down. 2023. Super yacht sub 3. So you got to get the super yacht
There you
in
go.
order to get the submarine.
The Sea Explorer. That's fire.
Look at this. I think this is gonna have to happen. We gotta know.
This is the next show.
Yeah.
the
this is
next show.
Next time we're together, we're gonna be underwater.
Next level. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Find some merman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty
Yeah.
cool.
They may find us.
They might find us.
They may find us. You never know.
Yeah. The aquatic ape theory is a serious something I take very seriously. It's like some mammals stayed on land, some did not.
Did you just see the picture a couple took in Canada of Ogopogo, the Loch Ness monster of Canada?
They found one.
They took a picture of it. He was, as they're getting closer, the husband's looking at this thing like, is it a log or something like that? He thought maybe it was some debris or something like that. But as he gets closer, he took a picture of this thing. It's got horns and it looks like a dragon's head underneath the water.
Is it this?
Yeah, check it out.
We're gonna get an ad, I bet. Is this?
Fox News.
Yeah, we'll see.
So you know it's legit.
There we go.
Why is it playing picture in picture? I want to see the whole thing, bro.
There you go.
So this is stock footage, right?
I wonder, I mean, cell phones are still relatively in their infancy if you look at like the grand scheme of things. You know? So
It's true.
I wonder how many, like, where will we be in terms of documentation or video or photo evidence, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years from now? Because like as the cameras and technology, like,
Everything's rolling.
like nowadays, like you see, like people witness a shooting and their first instinct is they get their phone out and take a video. It's like,
Yeah.
that's going to be,
It's amazing. I mean, that wasn't it, by the way. That wasn't the one. But
Wasn't it?
No, it was. It looked like a dragon's head under the water. It was just recent too.
You said
Couple, just not couples. Couple. There you go. Yeah. Let's see. Couple picture.
so there.
Pogo. There you go.
Yeah, one more down.
this one.
Well,
No, I
that's the most recent date. It's October 20th, 22.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's it. Loch Ness monster.
All the other ones are like 2018.
This is the Loch Ness monster.
Oh yeah.
You said it was Ogopogo. I'll look it up.
Ogopogo. Yeah. I think I have it.
What a name.
I know, right? Yeah, this is very, very weird, this thing. And it just looks like, it does look like a dragon under the water here. Here you go. Check that out.
Yeah, that's the one, Gilmore.
Oh, there you go. That's it.
This one? Oh,
Yep.
shit. That looks crazy.
Very strange.
Oh, man.
I mean, it could be there. Well, the one expert's saying it looks like it looked like a bird. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. There's
If
an
that's
eye.
not Photoshop or like
I don't know.
Fugazi type stuff. That's coin.
I mean, look at the ripple of the water about on the horn right there.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, I mean, if this is fake,
How
whoever
are
did
you
it
gonna
is
do
a high skilled person.
Yeah,
And the
this-
couple that was interviewed, I don't think they're of that caliber of, faking photos.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That looks pretty terrifying.
It's conclusive. His name's Charlie.
That looks pretty terrifying, man. If I saw that shit, I'd be
Oh yeah.
so scared.
That's why you go everywhere with a sword.
I need
That's
a
what,
sword.
that's what's different between now and back then. People used to carry swords. Everybody was safe.
Everybody was safe.
Um.
Oh yeah.
All right, Eric.
There you go.
You came,
You saw.
and you definitely didn't disappoint us.
Mhm.
Cool. I hope not.
This was awesome.
Good deal.
We definitely have to do this again in the
With,
future, and just kind of like reconnect on all this evidence
Absolutely.
because my mind is like, I have so many questions right now. I'm just gonna ask none of them.
Yeah, I'd love to be go to an investigation at some point.
So we're gonna do probably at the first of the year. We're gonna do this follow-up video that we did at this farmhouse.
Mm.
You guys have to come up to that.
Yeah, if you let us know,
I
we're
will
there.
All
Yeah.
right, I'll let you know.
We'll-
I will get you in. It's a ticketed event. I will get you in there. No worries. But come into this event because you will freak out. It's a really weird place, man.
We're there.
It's a beautiful place. Don't get me wrong. It's beautiful. And Beth and Jacob are awesome people. And as a construction, you'll love the architectural salvage that they have there. It's like you know Rick and Sally down at Artifact.
Mhm.
They're same type of thing, and a lot of really unique stuff down there.
Yeah, it's like
But-
antique salvage, but more architectural
Yeah.
salvage where they take doors and barns and things.
But
It's a really cool business.
this farmhouse though is really really cool.
Yeah.
So, and the first time we did 2 sold out shows there, one's on October 7th and 21st, and the one woman that we took on that was in one of the groups of 10 that we took, she had the same effect that happened to Beth. She had the same emotional like meltdown.
wow.
So it was really weird. So we would play the video beforehand. Now, could that also be, well, she saw Beth do that. Could she also be transferring that to herself?
Mm.
Mm.
You know, that's what. So as investigators, as researchers, we always have to look at so many different avenues of what are people feeling? What are people seeing? How are they interpreting this? Because that's, at the end of the day, you really want to have people. I always say that if there's a place that's haunted, they like being there. They just like being there. They didn't, there's nothing malevolent.
Mhm.
They like being there. I
Yeah.
think Hollywood wants to make it more evil and all of that stuff. We've not encountered that. Hopefully not yet. So
Oh yeah, watch us be the first ones, dude.
I'm sensing this energy over here.
This isn't good, boys. Get the swords.
Yeah, we should show up with swords. Just me and you.
Just dress up like like the Highlander,
Yeah.
the leather trench coat and a sword under our jacket.
Yeah, I got a trench coat on me.
There
Yeah,
you go.
I'll have to get one,
Yeah, we can.
but I do have a sword.
There you go. I don't have one.
So that's what. See this?
There you go. You
I'll
go-
help you out. You help me out.
Yeah, scratch.
You're my
back real quick.
fashionista, dude. You got to let me know what's stylish, what's not.
Yeah, I got you.
I want to look like a Van Helsing.
Oh,
there
That's what I'm
you go.
going for.
That's
I need
it.
the hat.
There you go.
that'll be sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do
Beautiful.
it.
Do you know Julie Krause?
Wow, that name sounds familiar.
Yeah, she's a psychic medium.
Okay.
She's legit.
Connect me with her.
I will.
Because we also want to take other mediums on these investigations.
Oh,
with us.
Julie in one of your videos would be great.
All right, cool.
Julie's
Yeah.
Definitely. Julie?
the more
Yeah.
the more people I meet that know her like for her whole life, the confidence I have in her abilities is 100% there.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, we were sitting here and she read our energies in a way. It wasn't an in-depth reading, but she was like, you have this energy, I have that energy.
Yeah,
She's kinda spot on.
I booked her for an energetic upgrade
Oh yeah,
for early December
that's sweet.
because my life's always just an emotional mess. And I'm like, I'm reaching for straws here. Call Julie.
That's so cool.
Maybe she can help me.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, so
Sounds good.
that's
man.
I'll try and connect the dots, and we're definitely in for
You're there.
January.
Thank
It
you,
was
man.
nice meeting you.
This is a lot of fun, man.
How do people find you?
They could find me on Facebook at Eric Mintel Investigates. They can find me on Eric Mintel Investigates on YouTube. And then, of course, look for my jazz quartet as well, Eric Mintel Quartet. Because who better qualified to investigate the paranormal than a jazz musician? So, and we
It
have
makes
a lot
sense.
of a lot of fun. We have a lot of great videos, and we're driving a lot of people to these various businesses too that we're featuring in our videos, because people do want to experience those. You had just asked him if he wanted to stay in a haunted hotel.
Mm.
And a lot of people do. They want to experience that, so that's what we're finding. So it's been a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
You need to subscribe to the show at this point. This is when you click the button. Or leave us a comment. Any sort of feedback, maybe a guest suggestion. We're open to, all the stuff. And then Gilmore, do you have anything to add to this?
Thank you for coming on. That was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to go to that event.
I'll be talking to you guys too
Yeah.
about the other stuff too with YouTube.
Yeah,
Oh,
we'll
yeah,